Welcome, everybody, to the Den of the Dogs podcast. I am your co host, Clarence Wilson, and with me, as always, my main man, Double R, Ruben Rodriguez. Ruben, what's shaking, man?
What's going on, Clarence? How you been, man? How you feeling?
Good, man. Good. We're getting close to some football, man.
Yeah, man. It's 1, 2, 3 days, 3, 4 days.
Yeah. It's a Friday, right?
Yep, Friday night, 7 o'clock, I think.
Uh, Jacksonville.
Finally see people on the field, which is what we're waiting for, man. We've been waiting since that dreaded day in January when it was all over with and all the headaches out. Hopefully, all the headaches out of the way by then. And we can start playing some ball, man. So, what is shaking? What's going on? What do you got for us?
Uh, we're gonna jump in today. We all know that we're all on suspension watch, so
Yeah.
we all know that's we all know that we're on watch, so no need to really talk about it. We just got to wait and see what's going to happen. It's kind of cool if something broke during our show, but seems like they're taking their sweet ass time. So,
Which,
I guess one of the first things I want to.
which couldn't be a bad thing if they're all sitting around talking about, hey, let's get this thing done once and for all, and maybe some kind of settlement come up. But you got two people who are dead setting. They got one thing on their mind. They got one number. One side wants it all. The other side saying, I'm not going to do more than this, and they don't want to meet in the middle. So they're just going to leave it up to Mr. Harvey to put the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. So again, man, let's talk football, man. I don't want to get in there.
We all know we're on suspension watch. So,
yeah.
Some interesting news this week from the Browns. We'll jump into first. Kareem, after saying he wanted to be here, reportedly has requested a trade. The Browns said hell no.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of doing a hold in where he wasn't participating in all the drills, but then all of a sudden he's participating with the team again. So I don't know. At this point, it's more drama around the team.
Yeah.
I would like to see Kareem stay. If it comes down to it, and he really doesn't want to be here that much, and it doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like he just wants to get paid.
Yeah.
He wants to get paid. So it's kind of hard when you've got money locked up in Chubb to turn around and try and pay Kareem market value, especially when they're doing a timeshare for the most part. And we know that they've got Felton, Johnson, and Ford sitting right behind him. So what's kind of your thoughts on the Hunt situation?
The weird thing about all that is, Clarence, that the way it just stopped.
Yeah.
Somebody who's dead set against either trade me or pay me, all of a sudden the next day, it's like, let's go, let's get to it. I don't know who talked to the man. It's obvious somebody talked to him. Don't know, somebody from the front office said, listen, we got a lot on our plate. We're gonna hook you up. It's just, one thing at a time here. And let's get away from this, and we can revisit this. We still have time before the season starts. Maybe we can revisit this, but man, come on, not right now. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Front office, maybe his good buddy Chubb might have sat him down and said to him, look, listen, just focus on the season. So something's gonna happen. Either we're gonna take care of you, or you with your play can take care of yourself. But maybe some of the leaders, Garrett on his team, down and says, hey, look, man, this ain't the time for this, right? I don't know. They're tighter than, it goes beyond the front office. These guys are all tight. And somebody obviously said something to the man, because you just don't change, your stat, your whatever his reasoning was for this. It doesn't change overnight like that, Clarence. It went from Friday night not participating in team drills to all of a sudden Saturday he's doing everything. So something happened between Friday night and Saturday morning. We'll never know what it is. It's good to see him out there.
I almost wonder if somebody said kind of along the lines of what you were saying, is that somebody said, you know what, this team came back and they took a chance on you and nobody was really wanting to, so maybe you should just cool out.
Yeah, just chill out. Just, it's gonna happen. But man, come on. They got one problem. Now you're gonna stack something on top of something else. And they got rid of the Baker situation. Now we got this one we aren't done with yet. And now, damn, dude, come on. I mean, give us a break here. We can work with you, but we don't have enough on our plate right now.
Exactly. Wow. I'm hoping that this can all come to a smooth understanding where he just decides to play this year, show out, and then he can go get his money wherever he wants, whether it be here or somewhere else. But
And I think
as
it will, Clarence. I think it'll work
yeah,
out for the better for him. But it was interesting. I don't know if you saw the OBJ tweet where he says something about a free ream or something. So that leads me to believe that came from Jarvis Landry, and I always thought the separation on this team came from elsewhere. And it looks like, to me, based on that tweet, maybe the bad blood wasn't between the players and a player. Maybe the bad blood was between the players and the front office. So
it everything seems to be coming out to contradict a lot of the stuff that so-called insiders told
exactly,
us.
exactly. I mean, the players didn't like the kid, and they were, maybe it wasn't the player that they didn't like. So, I mean, I don't know. Well, be that as it may, it's nothing we can do about it, man. We just have to sit here and wait and see. It's good that Hunt's still in camp. It's not like he's just not deciding not to show up. He's out there doing his thing. So that remains to be seen. We'll see what happens.
Yes, yes. Um, it seems like it's a weekly topic here on Den of the Dogs. Wide receiver got injured.
Another one.
This time the rookie who showed some real promise during camp, Michael Woods,
Right.
went down, and from Stefanski's mouth, he said that there's a good chance he's going to miss some time with a hamstring injury. So,
Yeah.
But Bell did come back.
Bell came back.
So we're one in, one out. That's not really a game I prefer to play, but
No.
yeah, this is what it is right now. But again, is it time for them to maybe look at a wide receiver?
Well, maybe after week one, maybe after week two, teams start making cuts. Maybe there may be something. I mean, again, the scouting department, this. Scouting department, front office, they're always. I mean, there are people are out there. They're watching, they're seeing what's going on. You don't know, free agent may come available as the weeks go on. They get cheaper. So, but don't forget about Jakeem Grant. I don't think the kid is just a kick return, punt returner. I don't think that's what he's here for. I mean, I've seen some clips of him in camp making some catches. Having separation, which was huge, something we didn't get from the receivers here last year. And he's been, and Watson and Brissett for the most part have been finding him. So, again, run him out there. This is what the preseason is for, to see what he's got. And Schwartz, he had a good day in camp yesterday. He's looking a bit better than he was. Maybe he's not. The game's slowing down for him a little bit, and we'll see if he can stay healthy. But we got some guys in there. Don't sleep on Jakeem Grant and that kid Michael Woods. Is when he gets back, he's going to be I don't want to say a force, but Willie Harvey. Not Willie Harvey. What's this kid's name? He's I think fifth wide receiver. He's on the side with Cooper. Bradley, Demarcus Bradley. He's another one. Tall kid.
Marcus Bradley, been around for a little bit.
Demarcus Bradley, yeah, and we'll see. This is what the preseason is for, man. They're going to see a lot of playing time. I don't think the starters will see maybe more than one series, depending on what goes down the rest of this week. This may be the only playing time Watson gets this preseason. I think the only time he won't be able to play is if he gets an indefinite suspension. Anything else, he could still play in the preseason. So they're going to get as much as they can out of him, because obviously, whatever happens, Brissett's going to have to get the bulk of the playing time. He's got to. You just can't go in there and say, you're our starter, but you're going to sit in the preseason. They got to get something out of him. But this is where I don't know what I'm gonna say, the good part, the bad part of preseason, the boring part of preseason, but this is where you get to see where your depth is. And the issue that we're having at wide receiver, of course, you got Felton. I don't know what they're gonna do with him, Clarence. Are they just gonna designate him as a wide receiver and let it be? Or, is he gonna be that fourth running back that can catch passes? I don't know what their plan is with him. I really don't. I know Ford has been showing out, man. He's been I think for the most part he may have moved ahead of Felton on the scale here. I'm not sure. I'm looking at the depth chart, but I see Felton. Where is he? Dearness Johnson, Dimitri
They
Felton.
still got him insurance
Yeah,
on
so
the
they have
unofficial.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, so they still have Felton ahead of Ford on the depth chart, but I mean the kid's showing out. So again, it's just the first game is telling in the preseason because they can get some kind of an idea moving forward for game two, where the depth chart's going to be, who's going to get the most playing time. And again, I'm excited for the defense. I want to see how these guys are doing. They're going to get a series, maybe two. I don't know about Miles and all them, but they'll get a little bit of sweat going and take them out. But it'll just be fun to watch football again, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm absolutely looking
Yeah,
forward to.
such a game.
Seeing some of the young guys out there,
Yeah.
seeing how this receiving core is, because as I said, I feel like each episode we're teetering on the brink of everything falling off the off the cliff with the wide receivers. It seems like one gets injured a week, but then we get one back. So
Yeah.
it'll be kind of interesting to see, if Bell plays, because I know he's still a little questionable. Just kind of see what he has out there. And also, I want to see what Amari has. All we've heard about is, how he's one of the best route runners. I want to see that put to the test, a little bit in the preseason for, however many series that might be, 1, 2, 3 series, however many that may be in this first game.
Mm-hmm.
But it will be very interesting, I guess, to see,
Yeah.
how. Yeah.
Well, one thing we can be fortunate for, partner, is that, you know, the main two wide receivers are relatively healthy. There's nothing wrong with God, knock on wood, nothing happened. But as long as Cooper and DPJ, I mean, there's nothing major with them. They're good. They're coming along. They know the playbook. They don't have to be out there. They don't have anything worse than maybe a tweaked foot or something that with Cooper, and he was fine. But at least our main two guys, the ones that we know are going to be out there, are fine. And it's just again, it depends on the system or how they choose to run this. When they don't going to see anything in the preseason game, he's not going to go full bore and show everything. I don't even know if Chubb's going to play or not. So, but again, it's a preseason. I'm a proponent to play these guys. I really am. But it's all sit them. You don't want to use them, ruin them for the season by getting them hurt. But look, if you play this game, Clarence, with the fear of getting hurt, that's when you get hurt.
Exactly.
And you got to get these guys out there, man. You got to get them some kind of game conditions. You just can't sit these guys for 3 games like they did last year and then put them out there in week one and say, okay, you don't even know who's playing next to you. You don't, you never even suited up with these guys before. And all of a sudden, you're a proponent of getting out there, get your feet wet, work up that sweat, get out there, run a few plays, even, a little bit at a time. I don't know if it's the second game now, the preseason, or is it the last one? That's the dress rehearsal where they play more than half. I don't know I know it used to be the third preseason game, but I don't know now if it's one or not.
I feel like there was no game last year that they played a half. Was there?
Yeah, I don't know if there was last year, but some teams
Yeah.
did. I know our team didn't, but some teams did where they played the second game like it was the third preseason game and they went out there with their starters a half and some of them into the third quarter. Using it as their dress rehearsal game, and then they sat in the last preseason game. I don't know if we have any plans on doing that. I know the league, is there some kind of CBA rule that says don't do it? I don't know. But that's how it used to be. The third game was the game where if you had ticket, it'd be a good game to go to because you're going to see starters on both sides for plays. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore, but
Well,
it would be nice to see. It sure would be nice.
it absolutely would be nice. And we were speaking of starters and seeing starters play against starters,
Hmm.
we kind of referenced it earlier in the pod that Mary Kay Cabot today tweeted out the first unofficial depth chart of the preseason for the Browns. Uh, no real surprises, I guess that what we think we're going to see. As you said, we looked at the running backs, and the unofficial depth chart has, of course, Chubb, Hunt, Johnson, and then Felton, and then Ford.
Yep.
But kind of as we referenced earlier, Felton might be used a little bit more as a wide receiver, especially from some of the stuff we saw, I guess, earlier a little bit in training camp.
Yeah.
Looking at the defensive tackle position, uh, they've got Jordan Elliott and Taven Bryan, uh, and then backing them up, Togiai and Winfrey.
Yeah.
That's a position that, for me, obviously, along with linebacker, which I know is your
That's my
your wheelhouse.
that's my that's the one that Perry on Winfrey, that's a given. I mean, he's a rookie. Taven Bryan's not a bad, I mean, he's not Ndamukong Suh, not even close, but he's young, and you had this is what you've been envisioning. You knew these were going to be your two starters to tackle, and Tommy Togiai has been here. I don't think he played a snap last year in the regular season. He knows the system. They just got to come out and win it. I mean, this is just for the first preseason game. Tommy Togiai's got to go out there and prove that he can jump Elliott and start. He may have a better chance of starting than Perrion Winfrey right now. Based on him knowing Joe Woods' system. He has to know the system. He just didn't play in it, but he has to know the system. He has to know what's expected of him. He may have a better chance right now to take over Elliott than Winfrey does for Bryan. Of course, injuries factor into all that, but again, we'll see on Friday how much playing time these guys get. I'm sure Perrion Winfrey can go out there and dominate second and third teamers if that's the case. But I mean, yeah, they have to go out there. They have to grade well. They have to play well. And again, it's four guys vying for two spots, and like you said, you'd like that to be stronger, where you don't have to worry about that. I would rather have the four guys duking it out for sure backup roles, because you got two solid starters in there. But again, you got four guys here that you roll the dice, and any four of these guys starting would I think they mirror each other. So yeah, we'll see. Again, like I said, we got Garrett and Clowney. We know what we got at the ends. I just wish, and I know you do too, that we had two stable starters in the defensive tackle position. But that's what the preseason is for, to see.
Even one.
Yeah, even one.
Even one at this point.
Yeah, let's get somebody in there that can play. My bets on Togiai only because he's the experienced one, and he knows his gap.
Mm-hmm.
He knows his gaps better on his defense than Winfrey does. But if Winfrey can step up in the first, maybe the second preseason game and just play well, he could take over in that one spot where Bryan is.
Absolutely. That's the thing. I always temper expectations with when watching preseason football, because it's been many a Browns preseason game where you watch a guy play. You're like, wow, this guy can play. I remember watching Brady Quinn come in and play, and I was like, he made the second and third team look like the second and
yeah.
Yeah. So, but we know how that worked out.
Right. In the preseason is like that. You're going to see guys you're also going to see guys that are preseason players. And I don't know how I say that. Listen to me, like I know what I'm talking about football athletes. But you'll see a guy with one team next year. You'll see, I remember him from last year. He was with Detroit. He played wonderfully. But wait a minute, he's just a practice player, special teams preseason player that does well against fourth or fifth stringers. Again, yeah, you'll see guys like DeMarcus Bradley. You'll see guys like Kelly, the running back. They do very well in preseason.
Yeah.
But how does that relate to game day or being on a 53-man roster, 46 for the game? Who knows, man? I'm more concerned about that. What really caught my eye was the middle linebacker, where they don't know if it's going to be Jacob Phillips or if it's going to be Anthony Walker starting. So that looks like, to me, what they're saying is it's going to be the battle on Friday, and to choose who's going to be the starting middle linebacker. I personally thought it was going to be JOK as a starting middle linebacker, the guy that makes everything go, that calls all the signals, but they would rather have him on the Mike side, not the Mike side, the Sam side, the strong side, and then go with Walker or Phillips in the middle. That looks like it's going to be a nice little battle in the middle linebacker position. I thought they would have their number one guy by now, but it looks like they want them to go at each other and see, make them earn it, and see who's going to be the starter, who's going to be the backup. And in those positions, though, Clarence, that's kind of like a leadoff hitter in baseball. You only lead off once during the game, and that's it. You're the leadoff hitter. You start the game, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to lead off every game. It's like, the linebacker position, especially in the NFL, just because you start doesn't mean you're going to play more than the other guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Phillips or Anthony Walker, whoever starts, that doesn't mean that they're not going to see more playing time than the other guy, depending on the situations, depending on who you're playing, where you may need, an extra linebacker. It all depends. I mean, how the other guy's playing. If this guy's going crazy, yeah, you're not going to get as much playing time. But it's a nice problem to have, though. You got two guys like that in one position. Yeah. And I'm happy.
It's good to have a little bit of depth.
Yeah, you know how I feel about my linebackers and my defense, man. I just want a linebacker that can cover somebody coming out of the backfield, man. Instead of wide open tight ends and backs out of the backfield in the middle of the field. JOK is not going to let that happen on his side. I can guarantee you that. Now we got to see if either Phillips or Walker can handle that coming out of the backfield and tight ends with those little delays over the middle. That's what we need to stop, because if we stop that, this defense is going to flourish.
That will be a huge key, especially with them going into the second year. It looks like the back of that defense is covered, should be covered. With Newsome and Ward.
Oh my God!
I mean, you got Greedy, Emerson, then on the backside, John Johnson, Doe. I mean, they're stacked back there.
Yeah, but look at the second teamers, and you tell me which NFL football team wouldn't want Greedy with an account starting for them.
That's what I'm saying. They
guys are loaded. They're loaded. They're loaded. Absolutely freaking loaded. And don't forget, third on the depth chart at cornerback behind Denzel is AJ Green.
AJ Green, yeah.
So, I mean, come on. You talk about, well, how many of these guys do you keep, though? Do you keep 8 defensive backs? Do you keep this? I mean, the way they've been dropping like flies the last couple of years, and then when COVID set in, you may need to keep 8 or 9 of these guys.
Absolutely. Well, I think you look at the guys that they drafted, are definitely going to be around, and then guys that they still have on a cheap rookie deal like Greedy.
Yeah,
he's going to be around. I mean, AJ Green has been doing nothing but impressing.
Right.
So,
and I think Greedy Williams is, like I told you, as we said on the previous podcast, I think Greedy I think Greedy Williams, if there's an odd man out in this whole situation, it just might be him. Because of they're high on Emerson, they're high on AJ Green. Greedy Williams pretty injury prone. We've seen that the last couple of seasons, and I don't know how much of this the system he's sucked in yet. How much of it that he'll be able to? Yeah, I said he may be the odd man out here. If they keep 9 guys, he's fine. If they don't. He may be the odd man out here because look at this conference. They got the Buffalo Bills. You got the Raiders now with Devontae Adams. You got the Chiefs. You got the Bengals. You got the Chargers. You got these are teams that are not going to be like the Ravens where they rely on the run. And don't forget the Dolphins with Cheetah up there now. And from what I'm hearing, that Beckham wants to go there. You know, you're going to need as many defensive backs as you can get here, man, to keep these guys fresh.
Yes.
Because this conference, especially our conference, and Russell Wilson and those boys up there now in Denver. So, you know, this conference is going to be, you know, a passing conference. We all know that. There's not all those teams that I just mentioned don't have a two-headed running monster like we have. So they're going to, I mean, they don't. Cincinnati's got Mixon, but, you know, other than Baltimore, I don't think that anybody else has a running game like ours. These other teams, though, they're passing teams. So the more good strong defensive backs that you can have on this team, the better it's going to be for us, man.
Yes. That's with all the quarterback and wide receiver movement that we saw in the offseason, I think having a defensive backfield is going to be a defensive backfield that can actually play.
Mm-hmm.
And with some depth, I think that's going to be a huge plus for the Browns, especially going into, you know, a time where, you know, let's face it, if Watson is like suspended for any amount of time, you know, the Browns are going to have to lean on the run game and defense. So they're going to have to especially lean on the run game and defense because we're not sure what Jacoby's going to bring to the table. And as well, you know, if teams start to stack up on the run, that's going to put the defense on the field a little bit more. So, you know, this defense is going to have to be ready to go, which I think they will be at this point.
I think they will be too. And, you know, that's another it's like you touched on it, that may be something they talked to Hunt about too. They're saying, listen, if ever this football team needed a running game, it could be this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we're going to need you. We'll talk about this other stuff later on, but this is your city. This is the place you say you wanted to stay. This is a place you wanted to play. So let's play football, because we don't know the situation. We don't know how this is going to pan out, but it could be quite possible that we're going to need everything we can get from our running game this year. Maybe what we need for 17 games is our running game to get us where we want to be. Something had to have happened. I'm speculating. I don't know anything from Adam if what was said. I'm just speculating just by the behavior, just how everything went from Friday to Saturday. Somebody had to have said something to this brother, man. Somebody said something.
Oh, I agree. I absolutely agree.
So we got
something with that.
What is this here? So what do we got for? I'm looking at this. If there's anything that, how do you feel about the reserves as far as the offensive line goes, and especially the tight end position? After Njoku, they have well, I don't see it. Yeah, they have Njoku in here, but I don't see Harrison. Oh, there's Harrison Bryant. They have him.
They split them out into two separate tight ends.
That's what I saw here too.
Yeah.
So you have Njoku. You don't have Njoku. So by looking at this, he has every intention of running that 12, 13 personnel all over again.
And that's just by looking at this. Yes, I would imagine that he's going to. I imagine that game plan. Excuse me, is going to fluctuate with depending on who's under center, how much they use that 12, 13 personnel. But
because it's crazy to me. He's got wide receiver, quarterback, running back, and most times you'll either see it FB for fullback or a running back. He doesn't have that. He's got two tight ends with then Miller Forrestall backing. He's second on the depth chart behind Njoku, and then Johnny Stanton, who I thought was the fullback.
Yeah, he is
second on the depth chart behind
Harrison
Bryant, who is a tight end.
This is still unofficial, but yeah, some of the stuff makes you wonder.
But it kind of makes you wonder. Wait a minute, so he's going to make our quarterback play his scheme, not them over an elite quarterback. That's what it seems like to me. He's running this right here. As he's looking right now, they got 12 personnel out there. They got 2 tight ends. They got the 12 personnel out on the field. If they start this tomorrow, that's the starters. He's going to start out with 12 personnel, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends to block, and give the ball to Chubb. So is he getting ready for a massive running game this year? Because we're going to need it. It just looks that way to me.
Yeah, I agree. When you look at however this was set up and wherever this came from, it's very clearly there's 2 tight ends. Yeah, I was like you the first time I looked at it. I was looking for Harrison Bryant at that number 2 spot, and I was like, wait, he's not.
I was looking for Harris. Right, I was looking for David Njoku, and then number 2 would have been Harrison Bryant. I'm thinking, wait a minute. So he's going to start 2 tight ends. Here we go again with the 12 personnel. So everybody knows that when Nick Chubb's in the backfield by himself, guess who they're going to key on? Nick Chubb. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We're running up against bro. Everybody, we're glad to have you on. I'm glad to talk football again Friday. I don't want to say it goes for real. Can we say it starts for real? Because it's football, but they ain't really starting for real.
It's something to watch. How about that?
Something to watch. It's good to see the guys in the uniforms out there playing football. Partner, we got 4 minutes to go. We want to thank everybody again for following the Believe Land Media Boys and ourselves. It's been a trying off season, but now we finally get to see some football. We got something to actually evaluate the next time we're on with you on next Monday. So we'll have something to talk about. The partner, what do you got before we leave?
Same. I'm ready for some. I'm ready for some football. I'm ready to maybe see the starters play for a series, couple plays.
Cool.
Just to see what we got out there. Obviously they're not going to show too much, and nobody. The main goal is not for anybody to get hurt. So.
Yeah. As vanilla as a vanilla milkshake, man, it's gonna be. But we'll watch out for all the battles, and I want to see that kid York kick like a 60-yarder. That's what I want to see. All right, folks. We'll partner in the words of our it's been 3-4 years now since Freddie been there. In the words of Freddie Kitchens.
You know the routine, y'all. If you do not wear brown like Bernie's afro and orange, you don't matter. Peace, y'all.
Peace, everybody. Take care. Have a good week.